Welcome back, everybody, to Unconditional Surrender in Europe, game designed by Salvatore Vasta, published by GMT Games. This is the C.U.C.U series campaign game. It stands for Cripple the UK, Collapse the USSR. That is the generalized strategy of what's going on. We are getting ready to go into July of 1944, and so we'll just get started. Start up my timer here. Try to keep these as close to 30 minutes as I can. I've been going a little bit long on some of my other series. We've been playing lots of turns, so I have no idea why I'm over here. We're doing the production phase here. Britain did lose a factory last turn, so they're down to 14 like the French. The Germans are at 26, Italians are at 12. They give one, or actually are 10, and the Germans give the Italians one because they took Tripoli, so they're down one factory. So we're on the still 0-0 in the strategic warfare. He rolled a 1, I rolled a 3, so we swapped positions on the factory loss markers. Strategic movement. He brings one of his 4 factor airplanes over towards the eastern border. I went and I moved the guy that's guarding the Somme. I had to think about this. And I was worried about him breaking through and just running to the channel ports. So, since I could, I went ahead and moved it to here. I'm not sure if that's the right thing to do, but that's what I did. Soviets didn't have one. We go into the German actions phase. Since it's July, we know it's fair. So now he's going to take his aircraft that was at 0 up in Königsberg, there, or in Danzig. Again, that was an illegal placement. Flies it to there, and flies it down to the armored unit down there. So he's technically still in supply there, because it's 1, 2, and then on the rail lines. So onwards we go. I believe he's taking out the French Air Force here. Rolls a 6, he gets that one for 1 sortie, and then he goes after this one. And now we're doing attacks. I'm not sure where we're attacking first. He is +4 with the armor. Went up to +6. So he rolled a 1, +6 is a 7. I rolled a 3, which means I'm only retreated, so I got the heck out of the way. He still has 8 movement points at this point. I believe he attacks across the river. Starting off at +3, we go to combat commitment. He threw an airplane, I did not. He rolled a 1 again, +5, so it's 6. I rolled a 1 +1 is a 2, so again I'm retreated. He goes ahead and attacks me again. This time I finally threw my tanks marker. He rolled a 3 +6 is a 9. I rolled a 3 +3 is a 6, so I'm retreated. And I retreated behind Paris. And that's probably not the right place to go. But that's where I went. The armored unit moved there, so he had moved 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then he attacks across the river because he wants to isolate Paris. And he moved up another airplane. So he attacked at +5 to my +1. He rolled a 7, I rolled a 3, so I retreated again. And he got what he wanted, which is now he'll be able to isolate Paris. Then he goes 1, 2, 3, and this airplane just flies away. 4, 5. And attacked across the river for 6, 7, 8. Throws in an airplane, so he is +3, so he rolls a 1. Again, he's been rolling a lot of 1s. So he's got 4. I rolled a 4 plus 1 is a 5, so I held that hex. Next up, he just has this this infantry that was adjacent to Paris. Goes ahead and attacks. He rolls a 5. Again, he throws in an airplane, so he is 5 plus 5 to my +1. I only rolled a 2. I'm DD'd. I cannot be retreated, so takes me out. Gets Paris and a unit. So I've just lost 7 of my 16. I started this turn with 16 will points. He's taken Calais for 2, Paris for 4, and a unit. So he's taken me down for 7, so I have 9 left. Then he moves this infantry across, throws in his airplane. Again, he's +3 to my +1. He rolls a 7 to my 5. And he comes again, and he rolls a 7 again. This time I only roll a 4, so I'm retreated. And here I make a mistake. I retreat to there. I'm trying to figure out which place to retreat to. Which way should I go? Which way should I go? I went there because I thought I'd have more retreat routes. I should have gone adjacent to Vichy because it guarantees I would never be isolated. Brings up a different infantry, captures Dijon. Now he's taking me down for 9 will points out of 16. So I'm down to 7. I'm only down to 8. 2, 4, 6, 10, 11. I'm confused. I was down 4, so I was 16. He took 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 out of 16 should be me at 7. So he moves this infantry around because the forts don't stop him from moving. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And he wanted that just so that he could isolate the 2nd French infantry. And then he attacks with the Italians, with the tanks, and I think he throws in the airplane too. So he's 2, 4, 5, 6, -1. +5 to +1, he rolls a 10. I rolled a 7. So I'm flipped. Then he attacks again at +2, 4, should be +3. +3 to -1. He rolled a 4, and I couldn't roll to save my life, so I'm eliminated. It's another will point. He takes the hex, and then moves 2 to there, so that he now has the Alpini. The Alpine unit is now isolated. And then he's going to attack with the German infantry, I believe. He is 2, 4, 5, 6 for the airplane, -1 for the mountains, so +7. Or +5, rather. He rolled a 6, +5, so much for all of those 1s in the north. He's making it up in the south. He got an 11. I rolled another 1, so I am flipped and eliminated. It's another will point, so he's taking 2, 4, 8. He's taken 11. I should be down to 5. Yep, I'm at 5 will points. That was 3 movement points. And then he went 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on Marseille. That was 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He shouldn't have any movement points left. He rolled a 1 + 3 is a 4. I rolled a 3 - 1 is a 2. So I am retreated, which I cannot do, so I'm eliminated, and he takes Marseille. So that's 2 more will points. So I'm down to 3. This is kind of where I thought I'd be, and I figured I should be able to hang on. I figured he'd take Lyon, and then all I have to do is hang on with 1 more unit, and I would have 1 point left. That's the way I calculated this. That was us double-checking our count. So he moves the Italian 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's why I said this was a mistake when I retreated to here. If I had retreated to here, I would have been adjacent to Vichy. So I might have been able to retreat, but I would not have been isolated. Now he's attacking me at +6, 8 when he throws in an airplane. To +1, he rolls an 11. I rolled a 7, so I flipped, and then he does it again. I think he just goes at me with +6, so he's a 7. I'm a 3, so I'm eliminated. And France falls. He still has 4 movement points left on that armored unit. And so we're taking off all the units, placing all my control markers. Anybody that's in there has to be repatriated, which is the Italians. And the German in Marseille. So he puts... Okay, and then he got an automatic political success. This is important. This is how the C.U.C.U works. He takes out France. He gets an automatic free one, so he's going to go ahead and activate Yugoslavia, which activates in mid-turn, which means they'll be able to still move this turn. And that's what I was saying. This Greek unit here needed to stay like here so that it would slow down what he's about to do. We were talking about that. He gets a garrison in. It's me taking off a bunch more French units. Putting in the conditional stuff on the turn track, so the partisans and free forces. Partisans come in 12 turns. Or 18 turns? Maybe it's 18 turns. Yeah, I think it's 18 turns. 6 turns for the free forces. So now he's repatriating his Italians. And then with his 4 movement points left, he went 1, 2, 3, 4, so that he can go run around and grab all the channel ports. That German infantry moves up there to take that. Then he moves the Yugoslavs down. And attacks the Greek garrison unit at 0. He should be at -1 for the city. I threw in a ground support. I don't know why he's at 0. He should not be at 0. Should have been at -1. Jeez. Anyway, he's 6. -1 would have been a 5. And I would have had a 4, so I would have actually held. So we did that wrong. Damn. Makes a huge difference. Oh, he used a ground support too. That's why he was at 0. So then he has the Yugoslav come in and capture Greece. So Greece goes down. He gets a pro marker and puts it in Turkey. You can see how the C.U.C.U effect works here. Yugoslavia came in, helped him conquer Greece, which gives him a pro marker in Turkey. And now he should be able to activate Turkey in the diplomatic phase because he has so many pro markers there. He goes ahead and moves the Italian infantry back into Tripoli. He's moving his fleets and stuff from Albania down there because he doesn't have to worry about the Greeks anymore. And he flies his Italian air down into Greece so that he can wackerdoodle the Force H. So raises me up a sortie. I think he was done at this point. So he tried to run supply, and I said, what the heck? Force H will try to stop you. +2 to his -1. Rolled a 7. And he rolled a 5 -1 is a 4, so he takes 2 sorties on his fleet. And then I rolled a net 7 again to his 1 -3, so he takes 3 sorties on his convoy. He only put 2, he should have taken 3. Once again, not doing things correctly. Oh no, that's right. Okay, there's the convoy, 4. Okay, and I'm up to 4 sorties there. That puts somebody at no supply, but then he... What did he do now? Did he run them again? Yeah, he ran just the convoy, and I went ahead and took it out with Force H. I rolled a 1. And I was +0, so he was fine. And then he supplied a second unit, so he got both of his units here at the front in Tobruk and out here. He got them in supply and let the other ones stay at low supply. And then we go into the Western action subphase. So, with France falling, things literally fell apart. Why did he put him in low supply? He was thinking he had to be in low supply, and I'm like, no, there's garrison in an island. He should be in full supply. Anyway, I have a convoy that was over here in Casablanca. Goes 369 and ends up in the Western Indian Ocean. And then he picks himself up and goes into Port Said. Force H says, okay, he's got airplanes there. I can't do anything. So I just went to Gibraltar. He couldn't really stop me. So I just went into Gibraltar. Then it's at this point. And then I just did my supply. We're going to Soviets who don't do anything. We're in replacements for the Axis. So back come the airplanes. The French do their convoy and fleet that are in Tripoli. And he decides to do the fleet in, Tobruk instead. And I did Force H. Some convoys. I might have done my airplane too. Yeah, my airplane. And what the heck are we doing? Mobilization. I think he let me do a move because I forgot to move the Brits. We're into the diplomacy phase. The Germans pulled a pro-Axis marker. Or did we put that? I think that's what he did. And he activates Turkey right away. And he's got a Turk here. It takes us a while to rectify this, but that Turk is there and he's not allowed to be there. So he puts the Turks on the board. So there he is. And What the hell is this? Oh, that's me putting down the Vichy stacks in all their places. So we go into the Western diplomacy phase. They didn't have the points to do anything. And so Soviets pulled their the Axis pro marker, I think. I don't know what I did with the Soviets. Why didn't I put the political failure back in? Not sure what I did there. Oh well, that was July. We go into August 1940. We know what the weather's going to be. So, declarations of war. Goes ahead and declares war on Syria. We make a mistake here. I rolled a 4, which means Syria should have surrendered. But for some reason, we thought you have to roll high to get them in, and so you have to roll low. So, we actually had Syria come in the war, so that's a mistake. So, we're just going to assume I actually rolled a 3. We do the production. Going to go to strategic warfare against the West. I'm at 0, and he does not have any pluses, but he goes ahead and throws his sub. He rolls a 4. I rolled a 1, so I lost another factory, and his sub comes back in 6 turns. And now, strategically moves his armor to Palermo, which did not make a lot of sense to me, but that's what he did. And then Brindisi, I think he was trying to figure out where to put it. He ended up putting it in Palermo. He's trying to figure out how he could get there, and he says, I'll just put it in Naples. Okay. And I strategically move this garrison army to that hex. That hex is the key hex. Protects Damascus, Beirut. He can't run by me after he kills the Syrian, which he will do because he's surrounded. And the Soviets didn't have one, so... Axis operations, he attacks it +1. It's +1 to -2. I throw ground support so that I'm only -1. He rolled a 1 + 1 is a 2. So I can't be taken out this turn, and then 1 turn I'll get the ground support back. And then I throw another one for the next attack. He gets a 1 + 1 is a 2, so I hold him off there. And then he attacks with the other infantry unit, and the hell? 5 for my ground support. And then he attacked, I don't know why I took the Syrian off. But he rolled a 7, and at -2 I would be eliminated, so that becomes Axis. They are conquered, so we have to do some things. Gets the Syrian trophy. He gets a pro marker in the cup. And he puts pro marker in Baghdad. Now he's attacking at my -1 guy. We go and throw stuff. He throws ground support. I don't think I threw anything here. So he rolled a 1, and I rolled a 5 -1. So I held. He has. In the production phase, the Germans got rid of some points, gave a point to the Italians and a point to the Turks so that they could move all their units. And then this guy goes off, getting ready to go into Iraq in case it doesn't come over to his side. Now I think he's moves his convoy here, moves his airplane there. I think he's going to declare. Moves into there, moves into there. He's moving some units to the east. Moves his airplane into Italy. You're down to Trento. He moves that infantry over to the Vichy border, which to me was just a waste of a point. He moves this guy up behind him. So I went ahead and tried to run up his airplane just to do something. And then this convoy that was in Gibraltar sails up to Southampton, picks up BEF. We sail out. I said, you can intercept me with your surface action in all these spaces. And the reason why I can get away with this is because at his -5 and -4 with his sorties and stuff, he can't really do anything to me. So I was counting here to see how far I could get. It's like all I could get to was Alexandria, and I was like, oh, I'm going to do something different. Go into the North Atlantic and stop in the South Atlantic Ocean. Now I can go back to England if he decides to do a sea lion, or I can go on to the Middle East next turn. So that's why I do that. This guy got picked up by the convoy, goes out to Sea Zone 26, down through the canal into Sea Zone 31, into the Arabian Sea, and lands at Kuwait. With Baghdad being able to come in for the German side, joining the Axis, I didn't want him to be able to just walk into Kuwait. I needed to be able to have some sort of base of operations. So, trying to think ahead. And then the Western Desert Force, we attack with tanks. So he's a 0 and I'm a +3. I rolled a 9, he rolled a 4. So he was eliminated, flipped, or retreated. I think he was just retreated. And I said, nope, I'm going to go back on the other side. If I'd have flipped him, I might have gone after him. But I said, nope, I'll just go to the other side. And I think that was it. I moved that airplane there so I could cover the guy up in the mountains in the future. And so no supply phase. Soviets didn't do anything. Replacements for the Axis. His airplanes. His Italians. His Germans. British take down their airplane and some of their convoys. Oops, I'm going right by it. We're in the diplomacy phase. Okay, so we're in the diplomacy phase. I don't know whose turn that was. Is it the Germans? I think that was the Germans. The Soviets pulled that, and we just said enough of that. The British basically don't have the points with trying to keep all their armies and fleets going. They don't have the points to be in the diplomacy game anymore. So we're doing the end of turn. And that's the end of August. So, cuckoo effect worked well. Um, he's got, the Turks running into uh, through Syria and whatnot, and then the Italians are reestablished in North Africa. France has fallen, and he has Yugoslavia on his side. So he's got Yugoslavia, Turkey, and uh, Italy, and his next thing will be concentrating on trying to get Romania into the war. And that's my half an hour, so I did that just right. So, um, there you have July and August of 1940 with the fall of France. I really thought he couldn't get 16 points. If I'd played a little better, maybe he wouldn't have gotten that last infantry unit. I don't know. As it was, it worked for him. So, there you have that. As always, I am Dren608. If you like my videos, please subscribe. Hit the like button so the algorithms in YouTube can keep these things up for people searching for unconditional surrender videos. Whatever that is, somehow the YouTube algorithms like you to move likes up to the top of the search thing. As always, stay safe. We'll see you again soon, hopefully. And stay safe, and bye-bye.